Hi. I started my talk this morning at 9 a.m. as usual, my scheduled 9 a.m. Tuesday morning talk, and I got interrupted. And then when I went to save the video, I erroneously deleted it. So we're going to do this again. Anyone who's joining me, great. This is going to be a good talk to help you calm down. So I'm going to be talking about anxiety today, and there is a lot of anxiety happening because of COVID-19, the coronavirus. If you have not heard of it, you are apparently living under a rock. Now, the first tip I'm going to give you is to remember to breathe. I was talking to my friend and client who is currently in the US, and she is a snowbird and spends 6 months of the year there. It is just about her time to come home. She's coming home a little bit early. And of course, this has affected her dramatically because she can't get home by herself. So I was supposed to go down and pick her up, but different arrangements have been made. When I was speaking to her, I said, take a breath. You need to breathe. So let's all do that together and take several. Breathing in deeply really helps to clear your anxiety and your emotional system. So as she was talking, she said, I was having my chest pains, and she said my chest was getting all tight, and I recognized that I wasn't breathing. And breathing is such an important part of remaining calm so that you can make good decisions. We need to make some decisions at this time. This is not just about what's going on in the world. It's about how we're going to deal with it as well. So first tip is remember to breathe. Whenever you need to make a decision, take 3 or 4 really good deep breaths. Sit with it for a minute. Don't react instantaneously. The next tip is try to limit your contact with information. And I know it's everywhere. It's on the news, it's on the radio, it's in every conversation we have with someone. I was at a function, a small function on Saturday night, and the topic inevitably went to COVID-19 and what's happening and what's going on with that. And of course, as the talk was progressing, I was getting more and more anxious. And I was feeding on the energy that other people were projecting. There is a lot of fear right now with COVID-19 and where that's going to take us. And I think people need to remember that we have had all kinds of things like this happen. We have just never taken these precautions before. Now, this is a new thing. It was something, I guess, that's been, I'm not even going to say what it is, because quite honestly, I would be spreading rumor because I have not really paid attention. My information has becoming second, third, and fourth hand. I know it is there. I know we need to take precautions. I know we need to be more careful and self-isolate. So to that end, oh goodness, I lost what my tip was. To that, and we'll talk about self-isolation actually. So there are a lot of people who were isolated before this happened. Oh, I know what I was talking about, anxiety, at the event I was at. So limit the amount of time that you actually spend hearing about what's going on in the world, because it is really feeding your body the anxiety that everyone else is feeding as well. So check the news feeds. once, maybe twice a day. You know it's happening. You know things are going on. You don't need to be feeding your body that energy constantly, because that energy actually creates anxiety in your body. And that anxiety will then turn into other things like full-on fear. And then we get really crazy and start making really stupid decisions, like stealing someone's groceries when they turn around to pay for them. I heard that happen the other day in the grocery store. A lady was at the till, and she turned to pay for her groceries, and when she turned around to grab them, they were gone. We're living in crazy times, so just remember not to be part of it. We want to put out energy-wise comes back to us. So we want to put out calm and good and love rather than fear and anxiety and terror. There are things going on that we have no control over. The one thing we do have control over is ourself. So one of the things you can do is self-isolate. You can stay at home more, visit with people less, be less in public, have less contact. I am a hugger, so this is difficult for me. I've not been hugging people, and we've not been shaking hands. We've been keeping distance, and that's what you should be doing in order to stop the spread of the virus. Be around less people. So to that end, lots of people are self-isolating, and it's not even self-quarantine, it's self-isolating, slowing down their actual physical contact with people. So rather than going to a big event, which most of them have been canceled, so society or the government has helped us to actually slow down our rate of contact. So as we do that, we need to remember that there are people who are now isolated even more than they were before. So what I would suggest is getting on the phone with people you know are isolated and talk to them. Give them something to think about other than their own now even more isolation. There are all kinds of people who are mobility compromised, and they're pretty isolated to begin with. And now with this, they're not even getting in the people who would be normally coming in to help them. I do know, I have heard that the care homes have all closed their doors and are not allowing in just random visitors. So all of those people who are in those facilities that are used to having people come visit them don't have those people right now. Thank goodness we still have the workers that are going in to look after them. So first, remember to breathe. Second, control how much of the information you are actually taking in so that you can control your anxiety. Third, self-isolation to ensure your safety and the safety of others, and slow down the spread. If we can all self-isolate for an extended period of time, this will be over so much quicker. So while you are self-isolating, I was speaking to my daughter in New York, and I hadn't talked to her for a couple of months. So it had made me a little anxious, not because she was in any danger. I didn't think she was in any danger. I just had not talked to her. Her life has been a little crazy and a little full, very, very full. So our time, with the time difference, it just has not worked out that we've had a lot of chat time. So I was finally able to catch up with her yesterday for since about 8 weeks. So she lives in a very populated city. There are people everywhere. And we are extremely fortunate in Edmonton that our city is not quite as densely populated. So in New York, in those densely populated areas, this COVID-19 can spread like wildfire because just literally walking down the street can put you in contact with thousands of people. But they live a completely different lifestyle than we live. There are lots of people in New York who actually don't cook, so they rely on restaurants to provide their meals. So the restaurants there have not actually shut down, but they have stopped dining in. It's very interesting to see how this is progressing in the different areas, and even in our own city, how they've shut down all of the, I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, so even though the city has actually shut down all the rec centers. So the things that we used to do to remove anxiety, like exercise, we're not actually able to access those facilities. But that's okay, because we can still do this at home. And there are all kinds of things we can do at home. Now, one of the things my daughter had mentioned is she is an introvert. So she's quite fine being by herself and having quiet time. In fact, she requires quiet time, being away from people in order to regenerate. And the one thing she said was so surprising to her is she's fine staying home. She loves staying home. She likes going out too, but she loves staying home. Staying home is not a problem for her. But as soon as they said, nope, stay home, she went, oh, well, I want to go out. And that is so usual. It's completely normal. As soon as someone tells you you have a restriction, our automatic reaction is to push against that. So rather than feeling like it's a restriction, what if we actually said, okay, this isn't a restriction. This is a wonderful opportunity to be able to do the things that I just have not had the time to do. How many of us actually get time at home to be able to clean out our kitchen cupboards or go through the linen closet or to get those extra loads of laundry done or to read the 14 books that we have purchased that we just have not had time to get to? I know I myself purchased a course about 5 months ago. No, it's closer to 8 months ago. I haven't even opened it. I've not had the time to open it. This is a perfect time for me to get started on that. So I'm going to be doing that. There are so many things that we have put off that this would be an opportune time to take care of those things. If you have a family, wouldn't it be wonderful if you started developing some new routines with the family? Wouldn't it be wonderful if you started eating your meals together, or actually spending time with your children uninterrupted now, getting to know a little bit more about them, about what they're thinking, about even what they're thinking about what's going on in the world. Our children are affected by this as well, and it has to be scary for them. But the calmer we are as adults, the easier it will be for the children. So do what you can to remain calm. So there are 3 really good tips. I want to do a little bit of tapping because that is what I do. The emotional freedom technique is a wonderful tool to actually counteract anxiety. So when anxiety and fear happen, it affects the amygdala. And the amygdala is our fight, flight, and freeze center. So tapping actually calms down that center. So we're going to do some tapping. And if you do not know how to tap, that's okay. You can just follow along. It will help anyway. If you don't know how to tap, you can go to my Facebook page, Ever Changing Life, and there is a how to tap video. So that will help you learn how to tap. In the meantime, you can just follow along with what we're doing. So when we're tapping, we're going to tap on specific points. One is the eyebrow point, right where your eyebrow starts, right there. That's where we're going to first tap, and then we'll just move on to the points. So you're going to tap on this, on the eyebrow point to start, and you're going to repeat after me. This anxiety, move to the side of the eye, bone on the side of the eye. This anxiety is really making me crazy. Remember to repeat after me, under the eye. This anxiety is sitting in the pit of my stomach. Under the nose. Oh, I feel this anxiety in my throat. Chin. My whole body is on high alert. Collarbone. I am so anxious. Wrist. I feel like I'm holding my breath. Top of the head. I have no control. Eyebrow. Oh, this anxiety. Side of the eye. I am so anxious. Under the eye. I can't believe how anxious I am. Under the nose. I can't believe what's going on in the world. Chin. What is our world coming to? Collarbone. I am so afraid. Wrist. I don't know what's going to happen. Top of the head. I am so anxious. Eyebrow. I can't believe this has happened. Side of the eye. This is not the world we live in. Under the eye. This is crazy. Under the nose. I don't know if I'm supposed to be afraid. Chin. I think I'm supposed to be afraid. Collarbone. They keep telling me how scary this is, so it must be scary. Wrist. Everyone is afraid. Top of the head. We've never encountered this before. Eyebrow. And we don't know how it's going to turn out. Side of the eye. So I guess I should be afraid. Under the eye. But what am I afraid of? Under the nose. Am I afraid just because I was told to be afraid? Chin. I'm not sure I want to be afraid. Collarbone. I definitely want to be cautious. Wrist. But being cautious doesn't mean I have to be afraid. Top of the head. But I'm still so anxious. Eyebrow. This anxiety is eating away at me. Side of the eye. But I think I can be calmer about this. Under the eye. This doesn't have to keep me in fear mode. Under the nose. This doesn't have to take over my whole life. Chin. I think I can deal with this reasonably. Collarbone. I'm not sure I need to feel so much fear. Wrist. I think I can deal with this calmly. Top of the head. I think I'd rather deal with it calmly. Eyebrow. I think I'd like to calm down. Side of the eye. Because calm is where I can make good decisions. Under the eye. If I'm really anxious, I can't make good decisions. Under the nose. And right now, we need to be able to make good decisions. Chin. Whatever's going on right now is not going to last forever. Collarbone. We just need to be patient and do what we can to get through this time. Wrist. And be safe. We need to be safe. Top of the head. And we can be safe. Eyebrow. We can help stop spreading this. Side of the eye. We can reframe our thoughts. Under the eye. I don't have to be so anxious. Under the nose. I think I'll be just fine. Chin. I think I'm just going to remember to breathe. Collarbone. And choose not to be quite so anxious. Top of the head. I'm just going to remember to breathe and let that anxiety go. And I want you to take a nice deep breath. I'm definitely calmer than when I started. You can replay this video and tap along to calm your anxiety. I will be popping on much more frequently while this is going on to help people calm down. There is so much going on, and we need to remember that what we are able to control, we control. What we can't control, we need to let go. So first off, remember to breathe. Nice, deep, right to your stomach breaths. Suck in that air. Blow it out. Limit how much information you're taking in. Only get the information that you need. Do not feed your body a constant stream of anxiety-ridden information, of fear-driven information. Once a day is enough to find out what's going on in the world. And thirdly, self-isolate. Stay home more. Have less contact with people. Let's stop the spread where we can. Now, that doesn't mean don't see anybody ever. Just means keep your distance. Wash your hands more frequently. Stop hugging, which is a hard one for me. There's so much you can do to actually help stop the spread of this. So be proactive. And I guess I did say only 3, but fourthly, the isolation that we are experiencing right now can be used as something very positive. So you get to choose the thoughts that you keep. You don't choose the thoughts that pop up in your head, but you do get to choose the thoughts you keep. So rather than saying, I have to stay home, and feeling like you want to get out of there, making yourself anxious because you feel like you are being forced, what if you looked at it as if it was a blessing? Look at all the things that I can now take care of that I didn't have time to do before. So on that note, I'm just going to add one more thing, which is I am speaking online this evening at Your Holistic Earth, and the actual live event has been canceled, but they are having an online event. There is no charge to come. You can check out the event at Your Holistic Earth and join us. It's from about 7 to 9 p.m. And I hope to see you there. I'm one of the speakers. There will be another speaker as well. And we'll be talking about anxiety, which is what's really prevalent in the world. It's funny how this was scheduled months ago, and we knew that this was the topic, and it really does fit right in. So I do believe there are no, what's the word? I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in the universe providing us with information. So I'm Sandra from Ever Changing Life, and you can connect with me on my Facebook or through my website. And if you need to start a dialogue, please let me know. There are all kinds of ways we can keep in touch without actually having to physically be in the same room. So keep calm, remember to breathe, and don't look at this as a punishment. Look at it as something, a time where we can actually be doing things that we didn't have time to do. So as I said, I'll be popping on a little more often than normal, and we'll be doing more tapping, and I hope everyone has a wonderful, stress-free day. Remember to breathe.